Hi guys, this is Tina from Shabbydabbydoodah. Welcome back to my channel. So I'm here for another decorating of a cover for a junk journal. I know that I've done lots before, but this is another one of those handmade, you know, made ahead covers that we did in the mass making. So I know that lots of you had asked, you know, could I do some cover kind of stuff to follow on really from that video. So I think I did one that was, I think patchwork. I'm now not quite sure. I can't quite remember. But I thought that we could do this one and see how, you know, how we would kind of tie this one in. So this journal's got a sort of, you know, blue, brown, reds kind of pattern, or not pattern, sorry, colour scheme going on inside. That's the word, colour scheme going on inside. So I've got some coffee dyed lace here. I thought we could definitely use that somewhere. I think kind of on that edge looks just absolutely lovely, doesn't it? Now I've also brought along my snippet roll, and I made this recently in my Projects Revisited series. So I thought this colour wise would, you know, would go pretty well. Not necessarily all of it, but you know, definitely parts of it I think would go quite well. I mean, that section I absolutely love. This section we could probably, you know, tie that in somehow, I think. I've got this lovely little like journaling spot thing. This was gifted to me in some lovely stamped items from Laura in some Happy Mail quite a long time ago. I have been hoarding them, but I'm really trying to make it my mission this year to not hoard things any longer. So yeah, I want to kind of, you know, try and use things that people have so kindly sent me, because of course people have sent them to, you know, to see them be used. They haven't seen, you know, sent them to watch me hoard them. So yeah, I'm going to try my very best to use some things, but it is hard because of course hoarding is kind of part of the fun, I think, of collecting all of our lovely things that we collect in the craft, you know, in the you know, as part of our crafting. What am I trying to say? Right, okay. So I'm just kind of playing around with some laces here. I mean, to be honest, even just that, I think just looks lovely, you know, with not a lot else even going on. So I'm just going to take this down here in the first instance, because I do really quite like that little portion there. Now, just deciding, I mean, I absolutely love this running down the edge. I think that's really, really pretty. So again, I'm just going to snip that off. Now, I normally try and cover up a little bit, you know, here where the strings are, because, you know, it's not kind of the most fun part really, is it, of the cover. So again, just having a play around and seeing what we might like to do there. So that would be perhaps quite nice. Yeah, that's quite nice. Now, do we want this kind of, you know, I mean, do we want it at all? I mean, let's just have a bit of a look. Sorry, try and keep it in frame. Let me see what else I've got. I had lots of lovely blue lace that I've used inside this journal. I don't think I've got any of that left, unfortunately, because that was really, really pretty. I have got this fabric, which I know seems a bit off the wall, but the journal's got quite a bit of red inside. So obviously this looks quite bright. I'm going to just try and ink this up and see whether it would kind of tie in here on the cover. It might just look appalling against that kind of background fabric, but let's give it a try. So I'll just ink it up a bit. Okay. Oh, the sun's shining outside. It looks glorious. I'm sure it's freezing, but it looks really pretty out there. Well, really inviting, really inviting. As I say, I'm sure it's probably freezing and horrible out there, but it's one of those days that just puts a spring in your step, I think. So, okay. Actually, while I've got the ink out, I'm going to just ink this snippet roll up slightly. Just in one or two areas where it was looking a little bit bright. Just kind of tone that down a bit. Make it look a bit more vintagey. Okay, right, let's pull this back in. Okey-doke, so we thought that along there. Now I wonder if we could get away with the red. I wonder. I mean, I know that's kind of quite clashy, but you see, because inside it has got quite a lot of red going on, so, you know, there's part of me that thinks, oh, that would be quite nice because it would tie it in, you know, with the inside quite nicely. Which, you know, that's nice to do then, isn't it? Right, I'm just going to put that there for a moment. And I've got these lovely gems that I think I got these from eBay. I actually ordered them and they turned out to be the wrong size. They weren't the ones that I have ordered in the past. They're slightly smaller. Oh, and I think I ordered 3 sets of mixed colours. And would you believe there's not a single red in here? Oh, that's so annoying, isn't it? I hadn't noticed that, obviously, until I'd just gone to look. But yeah, not a single red, would you believe? Because I thought, oh, wouldn't the red look good? Because that would just tie in the red from the fabric. Let me see what else I've got, whether I've got a red anywhere else. So I've got some of these. This was the size I had last time. They're just slightly bigger. So, yeah, they were obviously the size that I thought I had ordered this time, but no. Oh, I've got this, which is a red one. This is a kind of plastic acrylic-y one, which, again, I mean, I've had these for years. I bought this on a trim, and I have looked and looked and looked and looked online to see if I can get more of this. I didn't buy it online, I bought it in a shop, but they only had it that one time, and I bought just literally enough to get one of each colour. They never had it again, and that shop sadly has closed down now. And yeah, I don't, you know, I'm probably just not searching for the right thing, but I have tried searching so many times for this particular stuff. I cannot find it anywhere. And it's such a shame because it literally, it's like my bling that I love to use. It's like that. It's kind of on this black, you know, plasticky kind of acrylic stuff, and was just on a string like that is. And yeah, can't seem to get it anywhere. So Lord only knows where that shop found it in the first place, but it's really strange that you can't literally get it anywhere now. I've had it for years, so, you know, it wasn't something I bought recently. That's my last one, I think, of them. I might have 1 or 2 things still left somewhere where I've made them previously, but that's the last one I've actually got, you know, in the flesh. But yeah, it's just really strange. I mean, normally you kind of can manage to, you know, search it up and come up with what they were, can't you? But no, I've tried all sorts of different terms and cannot for the life of me find it. So I don't know what you would call it, you know, but I'm obviously searching the wrong thing. No, that looked awful. Okay, so far I'm not making the best job of this one, am I? And you're probably just all thinking, oh my goodness, what colour clashy colours she is thinking of using on there. Yep, they look pretty horrible so far, don't they? Oh, I don't know. I do want to have that red because I think that really does look quite cute. Right, let me go and have a look and see whether I've got any red, you know, ready-made fabric flowers anywhere. Hold on. Right, I pulled out a few more things. So I've got some fabric ruffle in the same fabric. So I could definitely use some of that somewhere. I've got this red button, and this is a flower that I've got with some red on it. Again, I'm not sure whether this flower is quite right. It's got a lot of white. I'm just going to kind of ink it up and see whether it will kind of, you know, transform it enough. We'll see. Yeah, so far this this colour's just looking a little bit of a hodgepodge. I don't know what the expression there is, but yeah, it's not looking the best, to be honest. Right, I do quite like this fabric though, so I think what I will do is do I like the lace over? No, I like the lace down first. So just going to glue that lace down. Just get the piece that I cut a moment ago. Okay, right. I'm going to just hot glue this down. So we'll just go straight along, whoa, straight along the edge. Goodness knows where that hot glue chunk landed. Okay, oops, in there. Okay, right, managed to get that off, and thankfully it had cooled down sufficiently so it didn't burn my finger then. Right, so we've got the lace on there now, and then I'm just going to run another little bit of glue to, you know, glue it down a bit further over, if you see what I mean, like that. Okay, that looks good. Perhaps I quite like this just a little bit. So let's just again snip that like that. And then perhaps we might be able to, I don't know, let's just have a play before we stick that down. Maybe it's the snippet roll that doesn't look quite right, although that's quite nice there actually. Yeah, I quite like that, I think. Now, do I want this on there? Maybe that's not right. Yeah, maybe I'm not so keen on that. Okay, right, now let's just have a bit of a play around with this. Ah, that's quite pretty, isn't it? Yeah, I quite like that. And weirdly enough, I don't even mind that not being inked up. I know this is inked, so technically it's a bit strange, but it looks quite pretty even like that, doesn't it? I will ink it, but yeah, I don't think it necessarily needs inking. I think it looks quite sweet, you know, quite sweet without. Now, let's just have a look. Quite nice there, but then that's a bit of a shame because it's covering up that flower completely. Right, okay, so I think the first thing I'm going to glue this down because I do really like that, so I will fabric that down, I think, instead of hot glue. Oops. If I don't just drop all the Fabri-Tac bottle everywhere first. So I'm just going to go straight down that edge, and I'll just try and put some underneath that lace as well. Okay. Like that. Okay, so that looks good, doesn't it? And then the snippet roll, I do like that. I think that looks really pretty. Now, wondering whether we want a book plate or anything. And I've also got this pale blue. Let's just see if we want any of that anywhere. Or maybe even kind of underneath here. It's quite nice, isn't it? That's quite pretty. And then that button. I'm wondering really actually whether we could have, because I haven't obviously done a closure or anything. I mean, obviously, you know, can just use some ribbon or, you know, lace or something like that and wrap it around. But actually wondering whether we could use the snippet roll itself. So I'll just get in kind of what's left of it. I mean, I love this bit with the bow. But then we'd have a snippet roll over the snippet roll. But I was wondering whether we could have it like this. Oh, no, sorry, like that. And then this could be on the end as a sort of pop stud here to close that. No, it looks a bit boring actually, to be honest. Yeah, yeah, scrap that idea because that just looked a little bit on the boring side. Right, let me just get in the my book plates, because I think this might be a moment for a book plate. Let me do this one. Memories, that's quite nice. Oh, it's such a tough decision, isn't it, sometimes? I quite like it on there, on that actual snippet roll. And obviously we said about having this, you know, the fabric ruffle running down there, which I think is really pretty. So already I feel like it's, you know, brightening it up and looking quite nice, actually. Now, the flower. See, the thing is then I've got everything on this side, which is a bit strange, isn't it? Well, I mean, you know, we don't have to have the button, I guess. Unless we need something else. You know, something else like over this fabric. Let me just see. Got some more lace here. Honestly, my desk must be just millions of bits of lace floating around on it. I know, I mean, I say it like I'm joking, but, you know, obviously there is an element of truth in that. Let's just put that there for a minute. Oh, that's quite pretty. Then if we have that there, just get rid of that for a moment. Let me just cut off another bit of lace here. So this is actually gathered lace, but you know, I'm cutting it off of the header. Well, I mean, we don't have to cut it off the header, I suppose. We could kind of leave it, you know. Sometimes I quite like that, you know, eclectic kind of mix going on. So I quite like everything as it is now. So I think what I'll do first is I'm going to just trim this down here. And, you know, let's be frugal and cut this in half, because of course there's no point having it all stuck down because a lot of it wasn't even visible underneath that snippet roll. So yeah, let's have it like that. So I'm just going to hot glue this on here like that. Okay, so that's quite nice. And then this one here I will just put like over the top of there like that. Okay. So that looks quite pretty, doesn't it? And then we're going to just take the snippet roll and have that on there like that. That's really nice. So I'm just going to, again, hot glue this down. So I'll just add the hot glue to the snippet roll, I think. Okay, let's just pop that down. Whoa. Like that. So that looks pretty, doesn't it? And then now that fabric ruffle, do we want to ink it or not ink it? That's the question. Obviously it's in a ruffle, so it's going to be slightly tricky to ink, but not impossible. I mean, like I say, I actually don't mind it bright, but is that really strange to have this bit inked and that bit bright? That probably is strange, isn't it? So we're going to have that like that. Do you know, I do quite like that, to be honest, not inked. I know that is very strange, but yeah, there's just something kind of quite nice about that for some reason. Right, let me just put another glue stick into my hot glue gun. So as we've got plenty. Okay, right, so I'm just going to literally run some hot glue down this edge to put that ruffle on. Like that. Okay, so that looks super pretty like that. And you know what's good, we can still see plenty of this flower, so yeah, it's all looking good. And then we're just going to trim this down. Just trim that off there. Okay, I can just kind of tuck that in a bit so it doesn't kind of, you know, come unfrayed. So we just tuck that like that. Whoops. Did I tuck that? I don't know whether I even did tuck that at all, to be honest, in the end. Oh well, just trim that little bit off. Okay. And then I was wondering what to do about this, wasn't I? So let's just get some of those frays off. I mean, you know, sometimes I quite like things like this. I know it's not probably to everybody's liking, but, you know, sometimes I just think things like this look quite pretty. You know, draped across and, yeah, kind of add something a bit, you know, a bit kind of against the typical, I suppose. I think is, yeah, it's quite nice. Because, I mean, if you take it off, that just looks a little bit boring, I think. Where when you put it back, it just adds a little bit something more. And of course I've got some more fabric ruffle, so we could even have a bit of that somewhere. I don't know whether we need to be honest. Might be going a bit ruffle crazy. Let's just glue this down. Again, just hot glue the glue straight to that, you know, gathered piece. Okay. Just pop that down like that. Okay, that looks pretty. And then here, yeah, I quite like the flower now, which I wasn't quite sure about the flower at first, but I think the flower looks really, really nice on there, to be honest. And then the book plate, I really love the book plate. So really it's just kind of about this and about this button embellishment, which I think maybe the button is a little step too far. Let me just stand up and have a look down on here and see what I think to the ruffle. I'm just going to raise the camera slightly because I want you to be able to see the whole thing like I am. You see, I take that off and then straight away to me that feels quite boring. I know it's kind of quite overdone when it's on there, but when it's not on there, it feels a little bit naked, if I'm truthful. So yeah, I might have to go for that. Now I'm just wondering whether I'm just going to cut another little bit of that lace. I'm probably now going way overboard, but I just wanted to see how this would look kind of just dropping out from the bottom. Well, I kind of quite like it, weirdly enough. I know it is quite, well, you know, a lot going on now, but why not? Why not have a lot going on? It's always more fun to have more stuff going on, isn't it? Who wants to be having it looking plain and boring, you know? Okay, right, so I've put that on there. Now, just going to get this fabric ruffle, which has got tons of frays, so I will get rid of a couple of those frayed bits because they're just way, way, way too many. Okay, so that's like quite nice now. And then the flower, unless I had the flower up there. Let me just check. That's quite nice as well. Oh, it's going to be another one of those where I can't now decide where to have everything. Quite like it like that, weirdly. Strange how sometimes you can just kind of think that you've got it sussed, and then, you know, you move things around and think, oh, actually that, you know, that looks better. You know, even though you were quite keen in the first place, it wasn't like you were kind of wondering, oh, shall I or shan't I? You know, you were quite kind of set on how it was all positioned. But then you move it around and think, oh, actually, that looks a lot better. So, yeah, that's quite nice like that. Okay, so it's just this and this now. Oh, this is a really tough one because I really like it there and I really like it here. Let me just have a look because I'm still wondering about that kind of blue flower and just still wondering whether we need something in the middle of here. So I'm just going to have a quick look through my buttons, which actually I've got some buttons behind me that I've patinaed. So let me just pull those in. These were all bright, you know, bright buttons that I wasn't really going to use. And, oops, well, I wasn't not going to use them, but I would struggle to use them in their original colours. And I just used some of that patina and, you know, most of them have gone pretty good. I mean, actually, some of them probably could do with a second coat, but they look quite good, I think. That's quite nice. Perhaps then we could even finish it off with a couple of... There's a lot going on that cover now, isn't there? Let me just try things out another way. Oh, they're quite nice down there, aren't they? What if we had it like that? Then it's like a bit of a triangle, which is a bit weird, isn't it? But I do quite like those buttons down there, I must say. I quite like that, I think. So I'm just going to go for this before I can change my mind anymore. So I'm going to glue that flower down there. And then I'm just going to hot glue this little button here. And then this one, oops. That one there. Like that. And then the last one, just in like that. Oops. Just noticed this fabric slightly lifting, so I'm just going to pop some hot glue underneath there so as it's, you know, stuck down properly like that. And the same here with this ruffle, because obviously now that ruffle's got kind of a button on it, it could do with being properly, you know, flat to the page, I think, so, or flat to the cover. There we go. Pull those hot glues out. Yep, I think that looks really pretty now. Okay, let's, oops, sorry, dropping everything now for some reason. Okay, let's get rid of these buttons, and then I think that's probably everything I want to do. The only other thing that I will do is where I said these could just do with another coat, I will just kind of dab a little bit more on there. So just going to check whether I needed any blue coming out from there. Okay, so just cut that down. Because as if I didn't have enough going on here, I thought, oh, perhaps it needs a little bit more. Just a little bit extra. Yeah, that's quite nice, isn't it? Maybe, yeah, I think like that. Again, I'll just have that kind of over there, I think. So, yeah, I really like how that looks. just going to kind of squish that out of the way. And then all I'm going to do is hot glue this down straight onto here, and that will hold that lace in place. So we'll just then take that, pop that down. Okie dokie, that looks really pretty. And then that can obviously come down there. So then all I'm going to do now is quickly, now I think I mixed the two of these. So I'll just see if I can do that a bit to the side. Just want a tiny bit to be able to just really wipe over that button. There we go. Oops, maybe another bit. That. Okay, right. I know you're not really supposed to use your finger, but it's another one of those, you know, please don't copy my methods, but then I'll just do a bit there. And then just a little bit on there. Okay, so that looks really good now. I really like how that looks. Yeah, and I mean, let's face it, I probably cannot squeeze a single another thing on there. Probably on the back, the only thing that I will do on the back is just literally, and obviously I can't do it now because of course I've now put the patina on those buttons, which needs to dry. But probably all that I will do on the back is just run a length of this lace down the back, you know, exactly where it is here, but on the back. And I think that's probably all that the back actually needs. Yeah, I don't think the back really kind of needs anything else. So just sort of here, I would just run some of that lace down there. And I think then the rest, you know, looks pretty anyway. So yeah, that's kind of it really. So I really hope that you like what we did there on the cover. I mean, it's pretty squashed in and decorated now, isn't it? But I mean, I think it looks gorgeous, to be honest, like that. And yeah, I think it was a case of more is more, definitely, on this. So I hope that you like it, and maybe it's given you some ideas of, you know, things to do with your ready-made covers that we did in the mass making. And yeah, I hope you have fun with your covers and everything. And thank you so much for watching. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks then. Bye.